Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is February 8th, Wednesday, 9:50 in the morning. And today I woke up feeling indifferent. I'm not necessarily ecstatic, but I'm not so much depressed either. I'm like evenly right in the middle. Well, first off, let me say welcome to the Pursuit of Happiness vlog. This vlog is completely random. Part of it is my journey to success, happiness, and achieving goals that I've set and made for myself. And I feel like this is something that's been a long time in the coming. I mentioned about this vlog and doing this vlog before, but I just never got to doing it. And when I originally came up with the idea of doing it, I was in a dark place emotionally. Mentally, I was in a decent space. I wasn't in the worst headspace to be in. But emotionally, I just wasn't there. And I think part of that was due to subconsciously putting my attention and direction towards relationships and emotions that I was having towards certain individuals. As well as just the situations that I was, or still am, going through for certain things. But I never really spoke about them. At least not to like a private journal like this. Thankfully, I'm not in that. I'm not in that mindset or place of stagnation and procrastination anymore, because I did what I had to do in order to get what I had to get to begin my journey to happiness, my pursuit to happiness. Right now, I'm gonna be as transparent as I can allow myself to be. Right now, I'm not working. Uh, at the time of me originally coming up with the idea to the pursuit to happiness, I had 3 jobs, and I had a car, and I was I was I was just in a good place, right? But then, you know, anyone that's involved with their life or conscious of what's going on with their life, you understand things happen. So, unfortunately, I ran into some hardships, and I ended up losing my jobs. I quit one job because 3 jobs was a lot. And honestly, the job that I quit, I didn't even really need that job because it was the least paying job. I was doing a lot of hours. I was working 2 jobs every single day. And then I don't even think I had a day off. Like, I really don't think I even had a day off during that time. I was working at a Forever 21, a Marshalls, and at a university. I'm not going to say its name right now, but I was working at a university as well. And I quit the one job, and shortly after quitting that job, my car broke down. So when my car broke down, I ended up losing the job at the university, which was the best job, one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had as well. And after that, it took me about 6 to 8 months, maybe, to get my car back and get it fixed. And within about 3 or 4 months after getting the car back, it broke down again, and I ended up losing my last job, and that put me in a depression because of reasons that maybe later on I'll speak on and explain more. But I was in a dark place. I was in a dark place at that time, and some people that I had put a expectation on to, which was wrong, I guess, on my part, because you shouldn't expect anybody to be there for you when your time's down. Even if you're there for them when they're going through something, you shouldn't expect that out of anybody, I guess. But I had put my emotional and mental well-being in the hands of others, and when they didn't show up for me the way that I thought that they should have, I kind of got hurt. I got in my feelings. And I would watch them enjoying themselves, having fun, not thinking about me. And I was being selfish. And I put expectations on people that I didn't have to put expectations on. And it caused me to start looking into new things like chakras and energies. I got really into chakras. And the one that resonated with me the most is the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra. Its main purpose has to do with self-love and self-healing. The color of it is green, which is my favorite color. And I really got resonated into that. How you doing? I mean, I got deep into it too, like numerology and stuff like that. The number 4 is supposed to represent a good foundation, like a grounded foundation, completion, and things of that matter. The number 0 is supposed to amplify everything that's next to it. So that's where you see the 40 in my name, the K40. It came from that 4400. I just made that up because I put the 4 and 4 together and then 2 zeros, and then I was like, nah, 40 /400. But ironically, my freshman year of high school, I played football and my football numbers was 40. So that was just like an ironic thing, you know. Maybe it was just meant to be that I looked into that, and the heart chakra just so happened to, you know, fit what I needed at that time. Yeah. A little, I guess a little backstory on me. I was born in New Jersey, and at about halfway through first grade, I think that's like 7 years old, I moved to Pennsylvania, and I lived with my mother. My father lives in New York. Born and raised in New York, that's him. And I would always visit my father. He would visit me too. So he's always been in my life. After I graduated high school, which I did by the skin of my teeth, I moved to New York to live with my father. And I'll get more into that story at a different time. But I ended up moving back in with my mother. And I didn't want to move back in with my mother. No, it wasn't something that was exactly planned. I wasn't I think my I wasn't ready or I wasn't expecting um, things to like go the way they did. Like when I was living with my dad, things was good, but you never really understand. Um, you never really understand what living with a parent is like if you've never lived with them. Like you never really understand anybody until you live with them. But living with somebody and then waking up every day with them, seeing them when they come in and out the house, seeing how they really are, them seeing how you really are, arguments and stuff. It's like you start to get a different perspective, and that perspective that I was getting when I was living with my dad, it it wasn't the the idea that I thought I was gonna have. It's like I thought living with my dad was gonna be different, and maybe that's just because he still can't do wrong. Don't get me wrong, but he couldn't do wrong in my eyes, because every time we saw each other, it was oh, I don't get to see you now, I see you, we're picking up where we left off. But I don't think he actually was expecting me to be how I was. He probably just like he heard, he definitely heard what my mom was going through raising me. But I don't think he thought that he was going to have to deal with the same stuff. I think he thought I was going to be different. And I obviously think that I showed him that it's not as easy as he probably thought it was going to be. And let's just say we had disagreements and we weren't seeing eye to eye. And I left, I guess. I left. And him and I didn't speak for a while. We didn't speak for a few years, but we speak now. We actually have a better relationship now. We cool now. Like, we could talk, but as of right now, I live with my mother right now. Sometimes I go back and forth though. Sometimes I do go back to stay with him. But it's just not how like it used to be, because things change. But yeah, so after leaving his house, I started to just living life, having fun, just doing stuff, going out, partying, and things like that. Um, as of right now, I'm not really partying. Obviously, I don't really speak to. I'm not gonna say I don't speak to anybody, but I don't really have regular conversations on a daily basis like I used to. And that's mainly because everyone that I knew when I was living with my mom before moved. They all moved back to Jersey. And they're not far, but one, I don't have a car right now, so hanging out with them isn't like a regular thing to do for me right now. And I'm basically here, just my mother and I. So you know, I got a lot of time to myself to think and be to myself. I know that this so far probably sounds like really depressing or something like that. I don't mean for it to sound depressing, but just being honest. We hide so much stuff and we like keep the truth hidden, or, or and we don't exactly live in our truth or in our struggles or in our bad times. We tend to keep ourselves focused on the good times instead of being present and aware of the bad times. And sometimes you have to stare the bad times in the eye and go through it, so that way when you get back into good times, you're more appreciative of the good times, and you you don't take it for granted, you know, and you have growth and character that's built in you. Um, I know right now I'm smoking a Black and Mild. I I smoke weed occasionally, but I don't really smoke like that anymore. It's been about 2 months since the last time I smoked weed, and before that it was like 5 months. And when I was smoking maybe like I smoked for like maybe like a month, but or 2 months maybe. I don't know. But I don't really stress the weed like that. When I was in high school, it was like an everyday thing. Like that was just a normal thing. But now I'm kind of cool off of it. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do wish that I could smoke. That's why I'm smoking a Black and Mild, because I don't smoke weed. So it's like, or I can't smoke weed right now. So um, yeah, just got these, but I only got one left. After that last one is done, I'm probably gonna quit them for a while. Um, yeah. So this vlog, like I said, is pursuit to happiness. It's gonna be random stuff. It's gonna be me just, I guess, talking to myself and pursuing what I want to pursue. I want to make music and I want to act. That's what I really want to do. And Yeah, I used to go to studios. I went to studios maybe a couple times, but um, like I said, after I stopped working those three jobs, I had got a I had got a couple more jobs after that. I was working at a few places, but the one job that I was working at, I had like a mental breakdown while I was working. I don't know what it was. I don't know why it happened, but it was like a random panic attack, and it was like I saw something in my mind while I was working that I just couldn't get the thought out of my head, and I was just like, yo, I can't do this. So I had to like leave work early, and I got let go from that. I got let go because of that, and I used my last paycheck that I had to buy music equipment. I bought a laptop, a microphone, and all that stuff, because music is really like my piece. It's really what I want to do. Ever since I was a kid, I always was into music. My very first time being introduced to it, like a recording process, I was in 6th grade in music class, and we had an assignment where we had to make a beat on Mixcraft. And I made a beat on Mixcraft, and I freestyled over it. You know what's funny, actually? I checked my email the other day. I don't know why, something possessed me to go through my old emails, and I found that song. I actually found it. I'll put it in this video, like a quick little like 10 seconds or something, I don't know. But I found the song, and I put it I had freestyled, and I put it on my email, I guess, to save it, and that was my introduction to music. And then I grew up in a church, so I remember like I would write music and poetry, and I would like write songs for the choir to sing, believe it or not. They ain't ever sing them, but it was like an introduction, like a practice to it. And that was like my introduction to music. And then ever since then, I would always talk about it. I would tell people all the time, oh, I'm gonna make a mixtape. And when I moved in with my dad, that's exactly what I did. I got a job, bought a microphone, because the one that I had broke, ironically. Like, I don't know how it broke. It was working. I moved in with my dad, and it just broke. Like, shit like that, stuff like that just be happening, you know? Just random stuff that just deter your goal. And then I bought a microphone, wrote music in my notes, and I just started to make a mixtape, and it was called The Life of K. EP. The Life of K. EP. And I put it on YouTube, and after that, I had this one mixtape in mind, man. I had this one mixtape that I would be talking about for years. I would always be talking about it. It was called The Starter Pack. and I must have wrote that mixtape like 3 different times. I wrote 3 different versions of that mixtape, and I never got to making the music because I was going through what I was going through, and I was just distracted and procrastinating. And once I moved back in with my mom, well, actually, before moving back in with my mom, I had moved in with a friend. But that's besides the point. I'll get to that in a different story. But while I was living with my mom, after moving in with her, I was hanging out with one of my friends, and he had a laptop and he had music equipment. One of my friends from school, and actually 2 friends from school, and we would working on that mixtape. We would be in the staircase. I'm talking about like we would be in the building in the staircase recording music. We didn't even have a house or a crib to be in. We would be in the staircase recording that music, and it took maybe about 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 months to record everything. Maybe longer. And I finished it and I put it out. I put it out everywhere on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Pandora. And then after that, because I had an idea. I already had an idea when I was 18 and I was first coming up with the music ideas. The Life of K-Dot EP was what I was talking about in high school. After I made that, I came up with an idea. I knew I wanted to make the starter pack, and after the starter pack was another mixtape called Tri-State. And my friends and I, we did the starter pack. We finished the starter pack. After we finished the starter pack, I actually did Tri-State. I finished Tri-State. But while this was going on, everything was good. I had a car. I was working and all that stuff. And then things just started happening. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Things just started happening. And eventually, I wasn't able to really record like that. And then, like I said, I got fired from my one job, and I bought the music equipment. And when I bought that music equipment, I made a mixtape myself, called Lost Boy. That's my most recent mixtape. It's February now. Lost Boy, I released that in October. I've been working on another mixtape called Her Music, which is scheduled to come out on Valentine's Day. But the way things go, I don't know if it's going to actually come out on Valentine's Day or if it's going to come out later. I hope it comes out Valentine's Day. After that, I got another mixtape that I already have finished called Chosen One. And then after Chosen One is God's Gift. God's Gift isn't finished. I got like 3 songs on that done so far. So you'll probably see the process of God's Gift being recorded, and you'll see that. Yeah. But that's just what I'm doing right now. I've been applying to places too. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that I'm not trying to work. I'm not ashamed to say that I work or stuff like that. But right now, I don't know. Finding a job is not easy. I done applied to so many places. And usually getting a job was never hard for me to do. Like, usually I always been able to get a job. But right now, I just can't. It's just... they're just not hiring me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the season of life that I'm in, and I'm just not meant to be working right now, I guess. But either way, it's like it is what it is, you know? Yeah, bro. Yeah, y'all. Whoever's watching, I don't know who's watching this or who's gonna watch this, whoever it is. I appreciate you for listening to this so far, because I know that this has been like slow, slow and depressing. But hey, the pursuit to happiness isn't always happy. Even if it looks happy, it might not be happy, and when it's not happy, it might be happy. There's gonna be ups and downs. There's gonna be moments, but I appreciate y'all for watching and listening.